CTI bought 13 from Check Real High or Real Check High or whatever. So we've got a Jimbo and Ned week. We've got Disarray, which is dangerous, Murph's dangerous, and Ninju. Alright, let's see what we do. Not a great opener here, but I have to respond. So we've got Murph, so we're just going to drop Stan so that we've got some kid between our new kid and Murph. Is already dropped Classic. Classy's dangerous, Classic and 3-bar. However, we can get the Jimbo and Ned down. This should deal with this comfortably. And then we've got a brilliant DSR here. So as soon as Classy hits a high, we hit with the DSR. We get hit with the Fireball. It does not matter. Jimbo survives it, so we just need to drop our B-Elf so that we've got some sort of ranger on the battlefield to take advantage of Jimbo. Dropping Lava there. Pretty pointless. It's not going to do anything. It's only going to slow things down. It'll do a bit of residual damage. It's not going to stop. So we're definitely going to take this first bar here. Might get 2, might get 3. Who knows? I could disarray, but what I'm going to do is just let Jimbo do as much damage to the new kid as possible. And we're going to reset and start a fresh push. So it looks like Jimbo should get the second bar, and he does. So we're going to start all the way back at our new kid with Murph. Murph's really dangerous on the new kid if he rushes him. So we can see we've got this push incoming here. We don't need to use Murph's power. That's not necessary, but we are going to drop Paladin to try and take care of B-Elf. So now we've got the Disarray. We get taken care of that. We've got Classy on the battlefield now. Classy's dangerous. We're going to use Murph to rush the new kid, and then we're just going to hit him with that Ninja buff, so he will finish it off. And the first game is a resounding victory on our half. So really good there. Didn't face much opposition, and we get a connection server error. That's ridiculous. That's annoying. Presumably I picked up a loss. Let's have a look. Right, that's not loading. We need to restart the game. Okay, so we'll hit the restart. No, I've picked the loss up. I've not got the bars, and yeah, there we go. So, first loss, despite the fact that we won. Alright, let's just not tilt and carry on. Princess Ralph from Fin Team. Alright, let's see how we get on here. Hopefully we've got something decent to open with. I could B-Elf poke at midline, or I can drop Murph behind the new kid. Murph is so good this week, so I'm just going to start off with him. I've got Disarray to support if I need. So we've got Jimbo back there, so we're presumably going to get the Ned. Disarray can potentially take care of Ned. However, my opponent failed to put anything between new kid and Murph, so there we go. Right, so what we're going to do here, so we'll hit the Disarray to take out Jimbo, and then we've got the buff from the Ninja, so that'll do a load of damage. So we're already on 2 bars, and then look, we've got Murph rushing, and we get 3 bars. That's how dangerous Murph is this week. You've got to watch out for him. You need something to protect your new kid. David Lopan 3 from Kenny SLMK, whatever, something or other. Right. Okay, we'll cycle Purify. Purify cycles a perfect opener this week. We don't need to wait for 10 for that. It's got to be Murph behind the new kid if we don't need to respond. It's the only unit that's slow enough. Like, I know people do Jimbo behind the new kid, but as you can see on my opponent's side, Jimbo moves very quickly. It's not a great opener. Once again, my opponent is failing to protect his new kid, so we can rush that. I was expecting Jimbo, but we didn't get that. Oh, right, okay, so we need to hit the Fireball there because we cannot have somebody killing our Murph and then taking Murph. So we've completely destroyed my opponent's push there. And now we're moving towards a new kid. I've got Disarray on my side if I need it. I've got Paladin Butters. We're going to get at least a bar here. And my opponent drops Disarray, but Disarray doesn't actually get to rush forward on the DSR because of Murph's stun lock. So we take most of the first bar using DSR. Now we're just taking care of this. So I'm going to drop B-Elf to support Murph. And we've got my opponent dropping various kids to try and keep Murph busy. However, we've got the Jimbo and Ned combination. Now we're going to hit it with that ninja buff. This should be 3 bars. I don't know what my opponent can do to stop this. Even if they hit fireball, I don't think it's going to do anything. So there goes the first bar. The second will go quickly, hopefully before the... Yep, so Jimbo survives the second one. And then we're just going to drop our own disarray just to make things worse. As soon as that comes off, there we go. There's a third bar. So absolutely dominating, apart from that connection issue. Let's look at the, hopefully, last game. We've got Linugal from Colorado Blunts. Let's see what we get to open with. We can B-Elf at the midline, I guess. Like that's not fantastic. Could Ned at the midline as well, but obviously Ned's good with Jimbo. Without Jimbo, Ned sucks. Right, so we do that. Okay, so down comes the Murph. So we do need to protect our new kid. So Stan the Great's going to move forward for that because Murph is about to get to the point where he can rush the new kid. We don't want that happening. Right, we'll just hit that before Stan starts getting attacked. And then we'll drop the Classy, who should hopefully make mincemeat out of Murph. We got an incoming Dougie there. Dougie gets taken out. And then we're going to DSR just to like really take this lot down. And you can see like Murph still hasn't actually managed to kill Stan because between his debuff and then the DSR, just not doing the damage. So now we've got a nice 3-unit push coming in. Classy can take 3 bars on her own once she hits that enraged. So let's just see what happens. We're in no rush to do anything. Get hit with a fireball. All that does is enrage Classy. It takes out the Stan. The DSR survives. Classy's going to hit, and this is going to take a lot of damage. So look at almost half of the third bar as well. So we'll just hit the disarray there. And I think this should be all she wrote. Yes, it is. So a nice, quick, clean victory. So there we go. 4 wins, but we only record 3. All right, thanks for watching. See you next week.